Good evening. Hello. All right. This was not well planned out. I'm live on all three platforms. So I'm sorry if I'm not staring at you the whole time while I'm talking. It's because I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Um on three phones. So I can't look at three phone lenses at the same time. And because this was not well planned out, I forgot a stand. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to sit here and hold this phone the whole time that I'm talking to y'all. Um, which is just not the business. Okay, and it's also going to inhibit me because I made notes tonight for tonight's live. I made notes. It's gonna inhibit me from um oh gosh. Sam, Sam. I'm sorry, y'all. I know this is unprofessional, but Sam, I'm sorry. Give me a moment, please. I need Sam. Sam. Good grief. Tell your dad to come here. Children are deaf. Let me tell you. So anyway, I'm going to need a third phone mount because I can't sit here and hold this phone the whole time. So I'm gonna have to ask my husband to go in my office and go get my phone mount. So give me a moment. But anyway, tonight we are going to. So I gave everybody. Can you go in my office and get my uh, phone stand? I think I have another one. Can you see if you can find one? Um. Okay, so tonight I gave some homework for tonight, which was I asked y'all to watch Wall Street, the movie Wall Street, the original, okay? Not one of the newer versions, and then also to watch Aaron Brockovich. Okay, so every time I come on, my overall topic is always going to be success. Okay, so, ooh, thank you. I need another one of these. I need to order another one of these because that one doesn't really. But thank you, honey. Okay. Oops. So anyway, oh, this might work. Uh, the overall topic that I will always be discussing will be. Oh, we hit something. There we go. Will always be the success. That will always be the overall topic. Okay. That's like the major topic, and then the minor topic will vary. Why is the stand like this? Y'all, bear with me. Okay. So we're going to, those are two movies that I tend to like when I watch a movie. I tend to like the movie to have a, what is, what, why? Y'all, I'm so sorry if you're on Instagram. Bear with me for 1 minute. And the rest of y'all, please bear with me for 1 minute. Why is the stand like, I don't understand. But anyway, okay. So I'm sorry. This is my first night recording on three platforms, which means three stands to hold my three phones up on. Oh, goodness. And just having a little bit of technical difficulties, but please hang in there. Stay with me. I'm going to have it together in just a minute. I promise. I think. What is the deal? Why is the. Y'all, some days it be like this. Okay. But. Mm, wait, I just got Instagram all over. Um. So we're going to keep on working on this. But when I watch movies, I like watching movies. if I can. I like watching movies about real life people and how, like stories, inspirational stories of like how they overcame difficulties. Y'all saw my Santa Claus, didn't you? Because I had the phone pointed this way. That's okay. Um, and for those of you on Instagram who are like, why does she have a 6-foot Santa Claus in the bedroom? It's because my grandbaby loves it. So he stays up year round in my bedroom. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But so who I was about to say who ordered this phone stand? But of course I did. Why this phone stand is so I'm gonna have to just y'all bear with me. I'm gonna have to take the case off of this phone of y'all for Instagram so that it'll fit in the phone stand. Okay. So, anyway, when I do watch movies, like I said, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all, that you're having to bear with me. Okay, the phone is now stabilized on the stand, and I should be able to proceed without the drama. Let me just. I'm sorry, y'all, on Instagram. I promise I'll have this figured out for next time. Wait, now the arm is too. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so like I was saying, I'm gonna say it one last time. When and this is just me personally, when I watch movies, I like watching movies that are inspirational, um, about people. Okay, that's just me. Uh, they inspire me and they teach me something at the same time. Okay, and I like that. Now let me just back y'all up. Okay, so sorry, Instagram. Sorry, and sorry, y'all. But this is the best. It's just, it is the best I can do tonight. It is what it is. I have to work on my angles and everything else. So, like I said, I'm not going to be able to look at all three of you at the same time, but, so these are two of my favorite movies, as far as, kind of now Aaron Brockovich is based on a real life person. If you're not familiar with the movie Aaron Brockovich, it's based on Aaron Brockovich. But Wall Street, of course, I don't know if Wall Street has any, I think it's fictional. I don't know that it has any basis in real life at all. But anyway, I think that both movies have good examples of success and successful people and what that looks like. Okay. So, like I said, if you're on Instagram, I'm so sorry about all the stuff prior to me not being set up and not having a phone stand and everything and all of that. But anyway, hang with me now. Okay, so if you've watched the movies, if you haven't watched the movies, this analysis may not make a lot of sense, right? Because you haven't watched the movies. If you have watched the movies, um, then it should make more sense. But let's get into it. All right, so let's first talk about Wall Street, the movie Wall Street. Once again, we're talking about the original Wall Street. I believe it's a movie. It's, I think, 1987, and it's starring Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen and of course Douglas. What's his name? Michael Douglas. Okay, so you have your two main characters are Gordon Gekko and Bud Fox. Okay, so Bud Fox is a young stockbroker. He's working at a firm, okay, when in the movie. And he's played by Charlie Sheen. He is, and so let me just describe but some of his traits, okay? Because we're talking about success. All right. So some of his traits are, well, he's tenacious, he's a hustler, he's innovative, he's hungry, he's in debt, which is a big part of this, okay? He's in debt, He's ambitious, very ambitious. He's desperate. He's persistent. And we know he's persistent because he calls Gordon Gekko, the main character of the story, 59 days in a row. Okay. He's also very intelligent and very well informed. Okay. So I don't know why this keeps on falling. Let me try and tighten it up. Okay. So he is a young stockbroker who's working at a brokerage. Okay. So that is Bud Fox. This isn't going to make a lot of sense if you haven't watched the movie. Okay. But anyway, you can always go back and watch it and then rewatch the live. Gordon Gekko is the main character in this movie, played by Michael Douglas, and he represents the person who Bud Fox's character wants to be. He wants to fashion himself after Gordon Gekko. He kind of worships him. He knows all about him. He's got his birthday written on his calendar. He calls him every single day, trying to get into his office to see him because he wants FaceTime with him. He wants access to him, so that he can be known to him. And of course, ultimately, he wants to work for him, and more even ultimately, he wants to be him. So he's calling him constantly, trying to get to see him. And Gordon Gekko's traits are he's ruthless, he's powerful, he's confident, he's rich, he's decisive, he's short and curt, which means he's just very, just say what you mean. I don't have time to talk to you or really hear what you want to say. He's rude, he's greedy, he lacks morals, he's possessive, he's jealous, and he's very successful. He's very successful. So when talking about when talking about these two people, we're looking at two people who both have the characteristics and the drive to be successful. In Bud Fox's situation, he's a junior broker at a brokerage. He doesn't have anything. At one point in the movie, he breaks down all of his expenses, and even though he's getting paid a lot, and he had to do a lot to get to where he is in the brokerage he's at. By the time he pays his rent, pays for parking in Manhattan, pays for food and electricity and all that, he's in the hole, and pays for his student loans, he's in the hole, and pays for clothes, he's in the hole. So even though he's making what a lot of people would consider to be a lot of money, he contends it's nothing here in New York, and it's certainly nothing if you're trying to be a player, if you're trying to look the part, dress the part, wine dine clients and the whole nine. So he's very smart, he's very math savvy, he's very quick on his feet whenever anybody asks him about a stock price or anything like that. He knows what the price is. So he's really smart, and you can see that he has the potential to go far if he can get his foot in the right door. So he has identified Gordon Gekko, the main character, as the person in New York that he wants to have mentor him, and he wants to be under this person's wing. And Gordon Gekko is highly successful. And he has the characteristics that I read to you. And some of the characteristics of highly successful people. One of the things I really enjoy about this movie is that I felt it was very true to form when portraying Gordon Gekko, when portraying him as a very powerful mover and shaker in New York City in the 1980s. He doesn't have time. He has people that he is assigned to do everything that needs to get done for his corporation to run well, like a well-oiled machine. He has different people that are allocated to do different assignments so that he can spend his time really just analyzing and being able to say yes or no to certain things and staying on top of information so that he can make snap decisions and judgments. And often in business, you have to be ready. When the opportunity arises, you have to be ready to snatch it or to make a decision, like to make a snap judgment, to make a snap decision. And so we see him in this movie. He's in a luxury office and he buys, sells, and restructures corporations. Okay, that's what Gordon Gekko does. And so basically, just to sum it up, the traits that he possesses are very beneficial to him. He is a networker. He understands the importance of networking to get information. He makes sure that he dines at the right restaurants, like Le Cirque. He makes sure that he belongs to the right country clubs, that he's seen around the right people, because he understands in powerful circles, they're very small. Powerful circles are very small, and the people run in the same social circles. And so, by being in the right place and talking to the right people, you're going to hear you're going to hear information that may be valuable in your business dealings at a later time. And he understands that. So he makes sure that he makes the proper rounds and, plays the proper sports, belongs to the proper club, and, throws parties with the proper people, the whole nine. Okay. And so these are things that you will see with people who are successful. They don't have time to play. On the weekends, he's working while his wife is throwing soirees, right? Um, when he has a dinner party at his house, he's working and making deals. So there's always and this is very common of people who are successful. They are laser focused, like laser focused on their goals and their objectives at all times. At all times. There's no turn off switch, right? It's, they take little breaks for fun things in life, but mainly their life is laser focused on making money, opportunities, um, and things of that nature, making the right connections, and things of that nature. They know what they want and they unapologetically pursue it. And so this is a trait that we see in all successful people. They know what they want, they unapologetically pursue it. And depending on what level they're on, they don't care who gets in the way of what it is that they want or they're trying to get. In one point in the movie, Gordon Gekko has a deal fall through, and he's looking at only making $10 million from the deal, and he considers that a loss. So successful people think differently than regular people. They don't accept disappointment well. They don't accept loss well. And this is because they've done the work to make sure that failure isn't often an outcome. Of course, it is sometimes, but that to make sure that it isn't often an outcome. All right. So, what else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the environment that the two main characters find themselves in. So, Bud Fox, who is the one who wants to be like Gordon Gekko, he is in an environment of a brokerage, which is a crazy, fast paced, um, moving and shaking, money passing back and forth between people constantly, decision making environment, right? He's a salesman. His father calls him a salesman, right? And he says, "No, I'm a broker." It's a totally different thing. And he said, "Do you call people and try and sell them stuff? You're a salesman." So that's basically what he does. He sells stocks. And so he wants to bag Gordon Gekko because selling stocks and shares for him would be on a whole different level than the people that he's normally selling for. And as you know, brokers get a commission. So he wants to do business with Gordon Gekko. So he has to think out of the box. He has to set himself apart. He has to be innovative. He has to be persistent. He has to come up with information because information is currency. he has to come up with information for Gordon Gekko that he doesn't already know. And this is a very well connected man. And so he does so and makes sure that through his hard work ethic and hustle that he's indispensable to Gordon Gekko. And so, and then there's more of the movie. We're not going to go into the entire movie. But so Bud is very good at being fast paced, thinking on the fly, knowing information, having answers, and making himself very invaluable to the main character. And so Gordon Gekko is, as I said, very intentional with his time, very intentional. And for example, he has a driver. And the reason he has a driver is because when he's driving around in New York City, and it's often very congested in New York City, even if you're trying to just get a couple blocks, you can away down the street in a car, you can end up being in that car for 45 minutes just to get a couple blocks away. If it's, you know, if you're in traffic. And so he has a driver so that he can be efficient and he can work and focus on work while he's in the car. Okay, that's how successful people think. If they're moving, if they have to be trapped somewhere, sitting somewhere, they want to have the tools and the ability to make the most of the time because during that time, remember, time is money. So if time is wasted, then money's being wasted. That's how successful people think. If I'm not working toward my goal, then I'm possibly and potentially losing money or missing out on a money making opportunity. Um, so when he's, on his private jet, he's having business meetings. Um, let's see, what else did I say? He is highly competitive. So, very successful people, one trait that they also all have in common is they are highly competitive. They're highly competitive. They did not become successful by not being competitive. Okay, so they're very competitive. They like to win, they like to get the prize, whatever the prize is, they like to be recognized, right? So you have the trait of all of them being highly competitive, um, which means that they're rarely relaxed. They're always thinking about what is my competitor doing? How can I beat my competitor? How can I do it better than my competitor? Whatever my competitor is doing. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about Wall Street. But I encourage you to watch it. If you haven't, watch the original. Okay, watch the original. That's the OG movie. Okay, and notice the characteristics. And the reason I'm going through this is so that you can go back and watch the movies and look at the characteristics of the main characters and see what is special about them, what makes them successful, what kind of traits do they possess. Okay, so that was Wall Street. Our second movie we're going to talk really briefly about is Erin Brockovich. Okay, so Erin Brockovich, you can see it. You can find Wall Street. I know Wall Street is on Disney Plus on Hulu. Okay, and then the original, and then Erin Brockovich is currently playing on Netflix. Okay, if you want to go and watch it. So Erin Brockovich, now Erin Brockovich is based on a true story about Erin Brockovich and her rise to fame, you could call it. And so the movie starts out, she's a single mom with 3 kids. And she's going through her drawers in her kitchen and she has like 2 cans in her cabinets, right? And then she's got roaches and she's got no money, she's got no job, and things are looking really bleak for her. Now she's a good-looking woman, but you know that's not going to pay your rent necessarily. Um, so she needs a job. She's looking for a job, and she gets in a car accident. Okay, and then she goes into a law firm because she's trying to get some money out of this car accident, and ends up getting a job at this law firm. And I think she's like a clerk. She doesn't have any real education, even though she was a beauty queen at one point. She doesn't have any real education um, on paper, but what she is she's really smart. She's really smart. She's quick witted. She doesn't have any manners. She doesn't have any class, but she is quick witted and she's very smart. And very resourceful. And so she gets this job and she's takes the job, and there's a file. She's going through the files because, basically that's what she's doing. She's, like a clerk, she's filing stuff. And she sees this file and she's interested in it. And she asks her boss, can I, go through this, review it, and read it? And he says, sure. And so she's more interested in it after she reads it. And she ends up going to meet the clients, the plaintiffs of this lawsuit. Long story short, she does amazing work. She sees things in this lawsuit that nobody else saw. She sees the value in the lawsuit. She sees how they can potentially win. It's against a huge, 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 huge corporation in California, PG&E, and she spearheads the lawsuit. She's not a lawyer, so she can't try it, but basically she does all the work. She's amazing. She's smart. She's able to memorize every plaintiff's address, social security number, phone number, age, and medical conditions. Every single plaintiff. She's committed, she's empathetic, and she wins the trust of the plaintiffs. They decide to stay with the law firm. They go on to win the lawsuit, and it is a historic lawsuit, historic win. She becomes a millionaire and rides off into the sunset to fight other cases, right? Like, so it's like this meteoric rise that she has, right? From down here at the very, very, very bottom, like no food, nothing for her kids, no daycare, nothing for her kids, to at the end of the movie, after this lawsuit, she's now a millionaire. She's got this plush corner office. And so all of this was done through hard work. How do you become successful? For a lot of people, becoming successful looks like doing the work, not necessarily coming from money to begin with. Doing the work, working really hard every day, outworking your competitors, outworking your peers, outworking the people that you work with, staying longer, putting in the work, doing things that you're not asked to do, taking those things upon yourself and doing them anyway. Um, Anticipating what needs to be done. So, not needing to have your boss ask you, can you do this? Can you do this? And after you do that, can you do this? Just, you know what needs to be done. Just go ahead and do it. And this will distinguish you from your coworkers. It will set you aside. And I promise you, will get you a raise. It's one of, if you're working for somebody else. If you're working for yourself, it's going to get you to where you want to be quicker, by having that work ethic and going above and beyond what's called for. And so that is the case with Erin Brockovich. She, let's see, yeah, basically what I just said. She gains the trust of the people that she's working for, and they want to give her, because of her personableness, because of her attention to detail, because of her caring, people want to give her law firm their business, which equates to huge, settlements and large amounts of money for not only the plaintiffs, but also for the law firm. So she's a key part of that. And so it just shows that, but once again, personality traits that she possesses, just like other successful people, laser focused, hardworking, working way above and beyond the hours that she has to when she's establishing herself. Always business minded, mind is always on the business that's at hand, very competitive. When they tried to take the case away from her, she got very angry, very jealous, very possessive of the case, rightly so, because she did all the work herself. Um, Very innovative on ways to get information that she needed. And so these are just characteristics of successful people. So, if you have time, please watch the original Wall Street from like 1987. Okay. And then also watch Aaron Brockovich. And I want you to pay attention to the traits that the individuals, the main characters, possess. And what traits do they possess that you would like to possess as well? Or maybe they have traits that you already possess, right? So watch the movies and figure it out for yourself. And you can always DM me if you have a question at any time or you want to discuss something. I will do my very best to get back to you. Okay, so that's all that I have for y'all tonight. I know this was different than most of my lives. Um, I don't normally give an assignment, right, or ask you to watch something. But I did think that these two movies were really good examples of successful people. One, you know, in Wall Street, you have a man who's already successful, and then you have a main character who wants to be successful and the steps that he goes through to become successful, right? And then in Aaron Brockovich, same thing. You have somebody who starts at the bottom and very inspirationally really rises to the top throughout the course of the movie, uh, just through sheer hard work and her work ethic. So I think they're good movies to watch. I enjoyed them. If I come up with any other movies that I can think of, I have a couple I think and maybe I'll talk about those another day at another time. Tomorrow, we are going to be discussing environment. One of my favorite topics, environment. Environment. How key your environment is. You will hear me repeat certain topics over and over and over again and maybe put a little different spin on them because they're important. They're important. Your exposure, your environment is very important. So we're going to talk about environment and probably something else tomorrow. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. And sorry once again about all the problems I was having in the beginning of this live. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have it all together for you. Okay, good night, y'all. So first we're going to say good night to TikTok. Good night, TikTok. All right, and good night, YouTube. All right. I don't know. I'm just gonna